All right, we're with Mike Carter. Mike, we're talking about all the advances. One legislation that made it through the House and the Senate is something written by our dear friend, Representative Ken Ivory out of Utah. He's been at the Liberty Hawk Ranch multiple times. He's been in the Economic War Room on the shows. He's been on Pirate Money Radio. Even the day after he got his legislation passed, we were celebrating with him. He loves eating ice cream, so we had special Ken Ivory vanilla ice cream ready for him.
Ken's been to 3 of our summits now, and he is an expert on this topic, and he's doing phenomenal things in his state.
And he was a part of the original legal tender law in 2011. Now states say, well, we'll just make it legal tender. A lot of states are saying that. Well, why don't we just do the easy thing and make it legal tender? That didn't do any good for the citizens of Utah, not without the most current legislation.
You've got to have a way to do something with that, because once it's legal tender and you go to any store out there and you bring your gold or your silver, you're going to get the face value of that silver dollar, but it's worth, what, $30 now?
Yeah, $35, yeah.
$35.
Substantially
You're not going to
more.
get $35 for it. So nobody's going to spend that. That's not economically prudent. But the ability to have gold or silver in an account and attach a debit card to it, and I can get my $35 of value out of that silver. And if it goes to 40, I get $40 of value. You know, we had originally we did a corporate card where we had $600 on that when we first started with gold. We demonstrated how it could be spent. We bought meals for folks, showed them. We spent about $300 of that. And in about 6 or 7 months' time, we looked at the balance. So 600 minus 300 should have $300. We had a $450 balance on our gold card. What happened? The value dollar went down, gold went up.
Okay, people can't easily buy gold. That's part of the problem. Is there are a lot of gold dealers, and some of them great, and some of them not so great. But you don't know what to do with it when you buy it. You go to Costco. So you figure, I can trust Costco. If they're selling me a gold bar, it's a gold bar. The problem is, once you buy it, you can't take it back and spend it.
Right. And we hear that all the time. We've seen even articles where people bought the gold at Costco, and Costco's got a great business model. They're probably, I think everything in the store is roughly 7% flat fee. They make money off the memberships. But you want to spend that gold nugget you just bought, you can't do it. You want to take it back, you can't do that either. So now you got to go to a broker or somebody else.
Pawn shop.
Come to an agreement of, okay, what's this worth? How do I do it? So what happens? That gold just gets stored away in a drawer someday for, well, if I need this someday, it's there. But it's not moving the economy. There's no velocity out there. It's sitting there with, well, at least I have this for someday. We want gold to be transactional. We want gold to be...
You can't use it in an emergency if you have to then go find a buyer and all that. All right, so what Utah did, and their legislation is historic, first in the nation, and there are a lot of articles being written about this, and we were part of it. I was a part of the Utah study group and so forth. But Ken Ivory, Representative Ivory, is the one who promoted it. We've got a clip from him when he was testifying about this. Let's hear what Representative Ivory said about this historic legislation.
It simply allows a state vendor or service provider to choose to receive payment in gold from the state instead of dollars. And for the state, all it means is setting up another account like a bank account. There are a number of service providers, a couple of them are here and online that can speak to this, but the state can push dollars, the recipient receives gold. And so they're able to have gold that's immediately stored, secured, audited, and the other things that are in the bill. And that really is the simplicity of the bill, but it provides a foundation that we build on as we look to store the value of the earnings and savings of the state and of the people of the state.
So basically they're making gold money, and that's an incredible step, because they're going to find a vendor who can process those electronic payments, which would be like you used in your debit card or I use in my debit card. If the state makes it money and makes it legal tender, and you put those two things together, you essentially have an exemption from capital gains tax potentially, because the only reason the IRS is able to tax gold is they call it a collectible, not if it's money made by the